Welcome to the MOTO Freak channel. Greetings to all viewers, subscribers, and supporters. In this episode, I will talk about the 2.0 Tdi engine. So to the point. The 2.0 Tdi engine is one of the most common diesel engines in the Volkswagen Group's portfolio, VW, AUDI, SKODA seat. It debuted in 2003 as a successor to the popular 1.9 Tdi and has undergone many evolutions since then, which is key to its assessment. General opinions. Opinions about the 2.0 Tdi engine are very diverse and strongly depend on the generation and year of production. Initial versions, PD, unit injectors, until around 2008, they had a worse reputation due to numerous failure problems, which damaged the reputation of the entire series. Newer versions, CR, Common Rail, from around 2008, definitely more refined, reliable, and economical. These units have largely rebuilt trust in the 2.0 Tdi. In general, users appreciate it for its good dynamics, flexibility, and relatively low fuel consumption. It is a universal engine that works well in both compacts and larger SUVs. Advantages. Good dynamics. Even in the basic versions, it offers sufficient power and torque for efficient movement. Low fuel consumption. One of the most economical engines in its class, especially in the extra-urban cycle. Parts availability. Due to its huge popularity, spare parts are widely available and at reasonable prices. This applies especially to substitutes. Easy service. Common rail versions are less complicated in basic service than older PDs. Potential for modification. The engine is susceptible to chip tuning. Defects, faults, and failures. Most frequently reported. As mentioned, failure rate largely depends on the generation. 1. Generation with unit injectors, PD, engine symbols including BKD, BKP, BLB, BRE, BMM, BMP, BRD, until approximate 2008. Cracking heads, especially BKD, BLB, BRE, a very serious problem, often leading to engine overheating and loss of coolant. Requires replacement or welding of the head. Unit injector failures. Siemens VDO unit injectors in BKP, BLB, BRE versions were very unreliable and expensive to replace. Bosch were more reliable. Oil pump failures, especially BKP, BMP problems with the oil pump drive, were the hexagonal driver, which can lead to engine seizure due to lack of lubrication. Turbocharger failures, typical for diesels, but more common in this generation than in newer ones. EGR and DPF valve problems. EGR valves clogging and jamming. DPF filter problems, especially in cars driven in the city for short periods. Second generation with common rail system, CR. Engine symbols including CAGA, CFFB, CBAA, CBB, CGLC, CRBC, CRLB, DFGA, from around 2008. These are much more reliable units, but they do have some issues. DPF and AdBlue, SCR, system problems. DPF is still problematic in city driving. In newer versions, Euro 5/6, there is also the AdBlue, SCR, system with its heaters, pump, and sensors, which can be faulty, especially in frosty weather. Common rail injector failures. Although more durable than unit injectors, they can still wear out, which results in poorer starting or uneven operation. Dual mass flywheel, DMF, failures, typical for diesel engines, especially those with high torque and in cars with high mileage. It manifests itself by knocking when switching off and starting, jerking when changing gears. Oil leaks. Sometimes there are leaks from seals, valve cover gaskets. Water pump failures can lead to engine overheating. Fuel pump and tank failures. This mainly concerned the first years of CR production. Fuel consumption, example values, very variable depending on the car model and engine version. Compact cars, e.g. Golf, Octavia. City, 6 to 8 liters per 100 kilometers. Route, 4.5 to 6 liters per 100 kilometers. Average, 5.5 to 7 liters per 100 kilometers. Mid-range cars / SUVs, e.g. Passat, Tiguan, Audi Q3 / Q5. City, 7 to 9 liters per 100 kilometers. Route: 5.5 to 7 liters per 100 kilometers. Average: 6.5 to 8 liters per 100 kilometers. Timing belt. In most 2.0 TDI engines, both PD and CR, the timing is belt-driven. Replacement interval: usually every 120,000 kilometers to 210,000 kilometers, or every 5 to 7 years, depending on the year and engine version. It is essential to follow the manufacturer's recommendations and do not ignore the deadline, because a broken belt leads to a collision of the valves with the pistons and a very expensive engine repair. Costs: replacing the timing set, belt, rollers, tensioners, water pump. Costs around PLN 800-2000 for parts plus labor, usually PLN 400 to 800. Oil. Choosing the right oil is crucial for the life of the 2.0 TDI engine, especially due to the DPF and the sensitivity of the injection system. VW standards. Use oils that meet the appropriate Volkswagen standards. VW 505.01 for older 2.0 TDI PD engines with pump injectors. VW 507.00 for 2.0 TDI common rail CR engines with DPF filter. This is a long-life standard, longer change intervals, and at the same time, low SAPs, low content of sulfate ash, phosphorus, and sulfur, which is crucial for DPF. VW 504.00/507.00 often combines both standards, universal for many VG engines. VW 508.00/509.00 20 for the latest versions of 2.0 TDI, so-called EVO, Euro 6D, often with a very low viscosity requirement. Viscosity. The most commonly used viscosities are 5W, 30, or 0W30. For the latest versions, 0W20. Change intervals. It is recommended to shorten the oil change intervals to 10,000 to 15,000 kilometers or once a year, especially when driving in the city, despite the instructions allowing longer intervals. Long life. Regular replacement prevents the accumulation of deposits and extends the life of the engine and its accessories. 2.0 TDI engine versions. Examples: there are many of them. Over the years, the 2.0 TDI has been available in dozens of power variants, from about 110 horsepower to over 240 horsepower. Main generations. Initial generations, PD, unit injectors. 8-valve, e.g. BMP less problematic than 16-valve, but still with the risk of oil pump failure. Power from 100 to 40 horsepower. 16-valve, e.g. BKD, BKP, BLB, BRE. These versions had the biggest problems: cylinder heads, Siemens pump injectors. Power from 140 horsepower to 170 horsepower, BRD. Newer generations, CR, common rail, from around 2008. 110 horsepower, CBAA, CFFB weaker, but very economical. 120 horsepower, 136 horsepower, 140 horsepower, e.g. CFFB, CFHC, CGLC, the most popular and most universal power variants, used in a wide range of models. 150 horsepower, e.g. CRBC, CRLB, DFGA, newer Euro 5-6 versions with improvements. 170 horsepower, e.g. CBBB, CFGB, more powerful versions, often with two balance shafts. 177 horsepower, CFGC evolution of 170 horsepower. 190 horsepower, DFCA, more powerful variants with newer emission standards. 240 horsepower by TDI. CUA, the most powerful version with two turbochargers, offered in the top versions of the Passat B8 or Tiguan 2. Very dynamic, but also more complicated. To sum up, when buying a car with a 2.0 TDI engine, it is crucial to determine its engine code and year of production. Avoiding the earliest PD versions, especially those with emergency heads and Siemens unit injectors, is recommended. Common rail generations are a much better choice, offering a good balance between performance, economy, and reliability, provided that regular and conscious service is carried out. Thank you for watching the video, and I invite you to subscribe to the Automoto Freak channel. Greetings to everyone, and see you in the next episode. See you soon.